It's Tuesday, October 9th. I'm going to meet a friend. This is the first time, I believe, in like a while, probably 3 days, that I've worn normal clothes because I'm a personal trainer, so I'm always in fitness wear. So it feels really nice to actually, wear some jeans and a t-shirt. Still in sneakers though, but I love wearing jeans, so I'm a little sad that throughout the week I don't get to wear, normal clothes. I was at exactly this street, and now currently it is 1:30 p.m. and you see how busy it is? I mean, there are people everywhere. And yesterday I actually was walking here at 5 in the morning, if you saw yesterday's vlog, and I put my camera in the middle of, I was gonna say the street, not in the middle of the street, in the middle of the sidewalk. And now with a lot of people walking by, it'd be kind of impossible to do it. So that's why I said that 5 in the morning for me in New York City is like one of my favorite times, because the whole city is sleeping. There are barely any people out, and that's why I love waking up super early. So let's talk about the pros and cons of living in New York City. What are the pros? Well, it's New York City, so it's a pretty iconic place, and it's been featured as a main character in a lot of movies, plays, TV shows, books, ads. Songs have been written about the city, so it's an amazing, magical, iconic place, and it's a place that never sleeps. Of course, if you want food at 10 p.m., 1 a.m. or 4 a.m., you can get it because we have an app called Seamless, and you can order food at any hour of any day. And it's pretty crazy because it makes me think that people who work at those establishments never get some rest or time off. But the thing is, it is a city that never sleeps, so it keeps going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do in New York City. Musicals, Broadway, plays and Broadway is kind of the same thing, never mind. You have movie premieres, biggest artists and groups coming here to perform, so whatever you want to see or experience, I'm pretty sure you can do it in New York City. This is Central Park, and it's also one of the most iconic places in New York City. I love Central Park. It almost makes you feel like you're not in the city except for a couple of skyscrapers that you can see, but if you block off your eyes, I'm pretty sure you can pretend like you're totally in a forest. Well, what about the cons? Funny you ask. First things first, it's super loud. Now, every time I go back to Holland, or I go on a vacation to Spain, or I go back to Lithuania, it makes me realize how loud New York is. And also what my mom pointed out is that I speak super loud when I'm outside of New York City. By living here, I always talk super loud because you always have to talk over the noise. Now, that's one thing. Second thing, it doesn't smell that good, especially in the summer, because it gets super humid, it gets super hot, and there's always trash on the streets. Always bags and bags of trash. So when it gets really hot, you can only imagine the smell of it. Third thing, not a lot of nature. Now, yes, we have a Central Park and it's amazing, but it's still in the middle of a city. It's perfectly square, and that's about the only nature spot that we have in the city. Yes, there are still a couple of small parks or squares, well, with some trees, but I miss the nature. Another thing, winters, they get very, very cold, and it snows a lot, and we have, blizzards. The only thing about it is if you're in the countryside and you get a lot of snow, it's kind of fun and sweet and cool, and you can go make snowmen. You can basically enjoy it. However, here it completely and instantly turns into slush and dirty snow, so it's not, people say, oh, New York City in wintertime, it's so magical. Yeah, it's magical for about 30 minutes while it's snowing, but the snow settles down and then it gets really dirty and nasty real quick. And then the subway functions even worse than it did before. Also, yes, that brings up another thing. New York City is one of the biggest cities in the world, yet the subway system is one of the worst. every single day trains are gonna be running late. I've been once stuck on a train for 45 minutes and I was late to a casting by an hour. MTA has some work to do. Yeah, every time I get out of the city, it makes me appreciate silence and nature and not being insanely hectic and busy, because I feel like I walk so fast, so I perfectly fit into the city. But also, like, everybody's rushing all the time, everybody's busy, everybody's going from place to place. If you live in New York City, you always go from a place to place. You know, yes, you live here, but you're always going somewhere. Everybody's always rushing somewhere, you know? That's why they say that New York City people are pretty rude people. Because if you try, you know, to talk to a stranger, they're on a schedule, they're going somewhere, their day is probably planned minute by minute. So I get it. A lot of the times when I train clients, I'm also on like a very tight schedule. So I probably look stressed, even though I'm just focused and I have places to go to. Another thing, it's super expensive. Living, you know, transportation, food. If you go out to restaurants and you eat out all the time, it gets super expensive. So I have no idea how it wasn't the first thing that I mentioned. It should have been the first thing that I mentioned, but it's very expensive. So that was today's video, pros and cons of living in New York City. I love New York City. Every single morning when I wake up, I'm so grateful to live here. But the thing is, once you live here, you also get to see the cons, and it's like any city. Yes, New York is great, but I feel like any place that you live in, there are pros and cons. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!